Let's talk about Batman, and we may as well start with one of the best ones. This is Tim Burton's 1989 Batman. But I didn't go see it at the cinema, and I'll get to that in a minute. But this big box X rental version is very near and dear to me. I remember going to my local video shop, Tiles, and it's a really big shop, especially for a UK video shop. You can imagine the equivalent of, say, 4 small shops, but this was one always big permanent video shop. And as I was walking up to the shop, at the time, how I pictured it in my mind, it seemed like they went to loads of expense. Somebody had put like some great titling in the window, like these like yellow stickers that said, "We have got 50 copies of Batman in stock." And I walked to the actual shelves inside the shop, and they got 50 of these bad boys at like 80, 90 pound a throw. It's a matter question, I don't know what that is. But like I say, just walking up to it, and you've got the cool yellow box, and obviously when I rented the tape, you've got this like cool sort of gold edging on the sticker and stuff like that. I can't believe like video shops that they used to sort of rent these, amazing things out to people, just open, they get them back and stuff like that. But what's kind of funny about that, like I say, I wasn't a small kid at the time, I was basically a teenager. Well, I was a teenager, so I don't know why I pictured it in my head as this huge, mammoth, glorious thing. It wasn't like I was a really small kid, like say 6 or 7. That kind of leads me perfectly on to my next point. I've been trying to work out in my head how old I was when Batman came out. And this is an headline saying, "Sick Batman can be seen if children of 12. I'm thinking it must have been like a 12 certificate and like a 15 on video. But for the life of me, I can't think why I didn't go see Batman at the cinema. It's like when all my favourite cinemas were open and I had access to a little tiny bit of money, but I didn't go see it. This is another newspaper cutting. I don't think I've looked at this for about 4 or 5 years, but I thought it was funny because if you look at this, it's like holy decapitation. It's saying stunt girl nearly got injured. One of the best things about when you've got an old newspaper cutting is things like this. 5:35 Neighbours, BBC One. Harold and Madge make a big decision. If you missed this episode, call 0898 300 313. I don't know what that's all about. Some soap hotline, and Top of the Pops was on. So good times, new Batman film at the cinema, and Top of the Pops was on. For all our American viewers, that's like Casey Kasem's America's Top 10, but with live performances by the band, and nothing like Casey Kasem's America's Top 10. I've got the Prince Bat Dance single. I was just listening to the Bat Dance soundtrack, as you do, and I didn't realise every single song on the soundtrack seems like it's incorporated into this Bat Dance. And the B-side, nobody ever asked me what's on the B-side, was 200 Balloons. And probably one of my favourite memories of the 89 Batman was this amazing, the official book of the movie. It's got loads of cool pictures in it and artwork and all the designs of the film and everything. And I was professional. It is an issue of Computer and Video Games, or CVG as it was known to all the cool hip kids, of which I wasn't one. And this is a review of Batman the movie by Ocean, or should I say preview. The Dark Knight Returns in Ocean's 3rd Batman game. So people nowadays think, oh, all these new Marvel DC films started it. Well, this restarted it after the 1960s Batman movie with all the Batman stuff. This may be a controversial choice, but it genuinely is my favourite Batman film, and it's Batman Forever. I really like this film because I think it's the closest anybody's ever got to like the earlier incarnations of Batman, like from the 60s and maybe even the 40s a little bit, and through to the more darker, realistic interpretations like the Chris Nolan ones and things like that. And I do think it's kind of an intense movie because the soundtrack's really kind of out there with all these outrageous noises on there, and the soundtrack's really intense and in your face. But I've always kind of liked it. But one thing I didn't realise was being set up for a fall, because I personally love this movie. But on the back there it says, one of the greatest movies ever made, and it says Jonathan Ross is the quote. For years and years, anybody who disagreed that this was a rubbish movie, I'd really like this quote saying, well, Luke somebody agrees with me and it's brilliant, it's one of the best films ever made, it's one of the best Batman films. I only found out way after the fact that Jonathan Ross, I think he made a bet with his brother Paul Ross, they could get his name on the Batman poster. So he's just said that quote as a joke. So, but me and Bob Kane share their favourite Batman is Val Kilmer, the favourite Batman film is Batman Forever. So good enough for the guy that created Batman, good enough for me. I'll just say a quick few things about Batman Forever while we're on the subject. But even though I love a lot of the new Marvel films, a lot of the new DC films and things like that, I feel like a lot of the stories are quite similar and they're just fighting loads of clones or robots. There'll be a big, huge bad guy that they've got to defeat. I thought the story for Batman Forever is really good and really pertinent to nowadays. How most people have got things like Netflix or some kind of streaming service or something that monitors what you watch and can tell you, recommend programs for you and things like that. And one of the main plot points in Batman Forever are these set-top boxes that don't look anything like set-top boxes. These like weird vase type things, but they monitor your brain, and so they can read what you're thinking and kind of get your bank details in, all your personal information for bribery and things like that. So I thought that was a really good story that doesn't get nowhere near enough credit. It's a really original, quirky story, and just this is a completely personal memory for Batman Forever. But still to this day, when I went to see it at the Odeon, I'm pretty sure, not just at that cinema, but cinemas generally, it's the loudest film I've ever seen. And the scene at the start of Batman Forever when there's a prison guard stuck in the safe and Batman's in there with him to save him, and he's got to get rid of the boiling acid and things like that. And they're pulling the safe out of this building and it makes this squeaky noise, and I can still now picture it like, and at that point I'd been to like concerts and things like that. It's just like, wow, this is the loudest sound I've ever heard. But along those lines, and I love this, my mate Tom gave me this figure, I believe, and I love it because it's so unofficial. Look at this bad boy, it's a figure of Batman, and it's got there some of the Val Kilmer artwork for Batman Forever and some of the George Clooney artwork from Batman and Robin. Isn't that just brilliant though? Made in China. You got the sad onion there, as Ashens would say, and nothing on the back there. Always a good sign of a quality product there. And as well, this is a film that I've been defending ever since it came out. This is Batman and Robin, the George Clooney one. And what especially is something that's really stuck out in my mind. For years and years, people are like, oh, this Batman and Robin, it's dead stupid. Even people who like the 60s Batman, and I always have looked at this like a bigger budget version of the 1960s Batman. But even people that like that version, like the Adam West, Burt Ward Batman, they're like, oh, that Batman and Robin's dead stupid. On the last couple of days, the Lego Batman movie's come out, and everybody's saying, oh, it's brilliant, how awesome it is. And I haven't seen it yet, I must be slipping in my old age. But I can't believe that people can stick up for the Lego Batman movie and say, oh, it's amazing and it's like got no faults, and then this is like, you're considered a scumbag if you like this film. But this is one of my favourite little cool souvenirs at the time when this film came out. This is from Flicks magazine. It's the latest movies reviewed inside apparently, and this is Batman and Robin coming soon poster. Were you on June 27th when this film came out? Probably watching it like everybody else. Being a big Batman fan, it was also good to find out that Kevin Smith is a big Batman fan, and he does a podcast with Mark Bernard called Fat Man on Batman. Check it out if you haven't already. But he wrote this cool comic book series, Batman 66 meets the Green Hornet, and he wrote it with Ralph Garman, man of 1,000 voices. Also, funnily enough, I've since found out, does a voice for the Lego Batman movie. This is great, harking back to the 1966 Batman, because it's got the 1966 Batman in it. But if you're a big fan of that era of Batman, I suggest checking this comic out, and complete name dropping here. But Ralph Garman follows me on Twitter. I don't really know why. I'm sure he must have me on block, because when I post on the Columbo TV thing and I'm posting 1,000 tweets in one day, everybody's like, I wish I hadn't followed this guy because this guy is a raving lunatic. We talk about raving lunatics. Here's the Joker. This is the Dark Knight Blu-ray, the old Chris Nolan, the Nolan brothers. Never see them and the Nolan sisters together, do you? Coincidence. But I recommend getting this Blu-ray for one very cool reason. There's a documentary. It's basically about the psychological aspects of Batman. It's mentioned here in the special features section. It's on for about an hour. I think it was done for like the History Channel or the Discovery Channel or one of those channels, the Learning Channel or the Disney Channel. No, but this great documentary about all the characters in Batman and and it's generally based in real psychological procedures, and talk about Batman doing this thing called exposure, how he's getting over the death of his parents by surrounding himself with bats all the time and like living in the Batcave and trying to get over it. You know, the Riddler is like a narcissist because he kind of wants to get caught and he kind of likes being, you know, the centre of attention and things like that. So yeah, check that out if you can. And this is also great as well. This is Batman and Robin in one of the animated series. And I've said this before, I'll say this again. I could not write a Batman film without it being Batman and Robin, and I love it being Batman and Robin together. Well, it's Batman and Robin, isn't it? It's not Batman and Steve. I've literally just come up with this off the top of my head. I'm sure Bob Kane and Bill Finger were proud. I'm going to be, for the next minute or so, miscellaneous man. I've got my trusty Batman mug here. I'm going to show you some of my various items. It's got me through a few cups of tea and cups of coffee. I'm sure anybody born in 1970 should have one of these, a Batman pencil case. I've actually got pens in here, and it's one of my personal fantasies in life to whip out this. And if I ever get one of them fancy Hollywood contracts, if I get whipped off to, you know, Hollywood and they get me sign a contract, just want to get this out and sign me contracts, and so I can get whatever they get nowadays. Got a few bits and pieces here, just go through them quickly. While I'm thinking about it, is a couple of quick questions. Do you think it's cruel for Batman to have an Alfred to look after him? There's one for you. There's question one. Is Game Pro magazine from when Batman Forever come out. Look how colourful that cover is compared to one from when the Chris Nolan Batman movies came out. It's a bit of a discrepancy there. Check, get your dictionary's discrepancies. What the hell's that mean? This is apparently, I bet this for a claim to fame, the UK's leading free movie magazine. This is unreal. You got given this if you went to Warner Village cinemas. Remember those? This is Batman Brave and the Bold magazine. If you notice, there's a bit missing there. There was a free Batman mask, and it was cut out, not by me. I was pretending to be Batman. This is where the pencil case was from. There, if you know, see, always thinking, see, free pencil case. I went up by the magazine. There you go. Nice natural movement there. Just put him there. Actually, here's the second question for you. Are you younger than the current Batman? Doesn't matter when you're watching this, just say yes or no in the comment section below. Here's total film, and this is, I've said this before and I'll say it again, one of my bugbears of movie magazines is when they do this, they'll have something like Batman and Robin on the cover, and I personally like Batman and Robin, and they go, oh, watch Batman and Robin, it's going to be brilliant. Don't you we think it's going to be brilliant, you think it's going to be brilliant? And then after you bought the magazine and then you go see the film and they're like, ha, you shouldn't have gone go see Batman and Robin, you're a massive spaz. And this is the cover to Arkham City for the PlayStation 3 when they made Robin cool, and in the Batman Lego movie they've made him less cool again. Although I have found out a really cool fact about the Batman Lego movie. Spoiler alert, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It actually incorporates and considers canon every version of Batman that's ever been released from 1940 until now. If that doesn't make you a fan of Batman, I don't know what will. Keep it locked.